Hello, hello, beautiful souls. How are you doing? I hope all's well with you. Beautiful souls. I understand that ever since God revealed to you who you were, who you are, who you always have been, who you always will be, that a lot of people around you felt just really small. Like they felt like you were trying to pretend to be somebody that you weren't. But now they realize that you are exactly who you said, who you know that you are, who you said you've always been. You've always had some sort of confidence around you that no matter what is going on, you're always going to be okay. You always were the one to speak up when things were going wrong. If somebody was about to do the wrong thing, you were not afraid to tell them, "Hey, you shouldn't do that. Hey, that's not right." And some people are like, "Oh, you're a snitch or you're a tattletale or you think you're better or you think you're a judge or you think you're this." I'm pretty sure you've been accused of that. When in actuality, no, you don't think you're better than anyone or that you're perfect or that you do nothing wrong, but is that you have a strong voice. God gave you a voice that will carry, it will shake rooms, it will transform lives. And when you embrace that, when you finally step into that gift, your voice is only going to get bigger and bigger, and your light is going to get brighter and brighter because you're doing exactly what God has called you to do. You're not afraid to speak up. You're not afraid to speak out. And see, being raised around certain people, especially with your siblings, with your family, they're wondering, like, well, where was this person when we were growing up? She wasn't like this. He wasn't like that. They were doing the same stuff as us. They were kicking it and going out and doing the things like us. But that's because we were trying to force ourselves to fit in. But we knew deep down, this isn't me. Like, let's just say when you were younger and you went out and you were at a store and your sibling stole something or friends stole things. You weren't the type that just automatically want to go with it, but you felt like if you didn't do it, you were going to be shunned. Like they were going to close you out or make you feel like, oh, like I said, you're a snitch or you think you're better. So you did it just to appease others, but you knew deep down there was something wrong about it. So as you got older, you decided to speak against these things and you get a lot of backlash for it. Because again, the world is going to a certain path, that's going with a certain currency. In the Bible, God tells you that hell is broad and many people will go there. But the way to righteousness, the way that is right is small and narrow, is slim, and only few will enter. Now, plenty of people have realized, they say they believe that heaven and hell are like states of consciousness. And I believe to a certain extent that is very true. At the end of the day, I've told you guys that this world is extremely magical. So we don't really know what's going on or what's going to happen when we leave this earthly realm, when we shed this flesh suit, is what I like to call it. But you just want to make sure that you are doing the right thing. You know, conviction, you know what's right from wrong because you'll feel it in your heart. God has said that He has put the knowing of Him in the book of Romans. He said, I have put the knowing of me in every man's heart. So there will be no excuse on the day of judgment, on the day of God really just reviewing your life. Me personally, I believe there's going to be some sort of review. I do. Because everything that you're doing here is a test. There are lessons. And I don't think you're just doing it just for the heck of it. I believe everything has a purpose. But do we know exactly how things are going to go down? No. I don't believe anybody knows that. And that's the point. But back to the topic. Your voice has gotten you into a lot of places that are good, but it has also caused confusion. It has also caused like certain things, like divisions and certain problems, because the truth, it offends and then it heals. Okay, we know this by now. The truth offends and then it heals, and you're not afraid to offend people. You're not afraid to speak and say exactly what's going on. And see, it's going to make you like public enemy number one. It puts a target on your back. If you've noticed, most people who are not afraid to speak the truth, especially against the system or against wrong, somehow they're put in jail or they're locked up or they go missing. Look what happened with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Even though they had different stances, they still were trying to change certain structures and certain things in society. And look how they were taken out. Your voice is kind of dangerous, as a chosen one when you wake up. Because see, we're not with the fluff. We're not with the BS. We're going to call it exactly for how we see it. And for people who love and enjoy wearing masks, you are like their worst nightmare. You're not afraid to ask questions. You're not afraid to ask the tough questions, the hard questions, the questions that other people will be like, girl, why would you ask that? Like, why would you say that? Like, I don't know if y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with Barbara Walters. Like, she was a very famous, journalist. And the thing is, she's like, I'm not afraid to ask the tough questions. That's what separated Barbara Walters from the other ones, because she was going to ask the questions that other people didn't want to ask. She didn't want that other people were too afraid or ashamed to ask, but they wanted to know the answer. If you want something in this life, you have to go after it with all that you got. And that's the thing. When you're telling the truth, you're exposing the truth and you're telling these things, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you lose family. It doesn't matter if you lose friends. It doesn't matter if, and again, I don't want to go too bold to say, like, even if you have to change jobs, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And the truth is the truth. And as a chosen one, you're called to stand your ground no matter what. There's plenty times where I've gotten into it or gotten into some sort of heat thing just because I opened my mouth, because I believe in myself. Every single thing that I say out of my mouth, I truly believe it. And more than likely, I've also done the research. I don't want to just say something and then it's a complete lie, and then someone calls me out like, girl, I looked that up and that's actually not true at all. I'll be like, so, I'm not going to just talk just to hear myself talk. You're very intelligent. And the thing is, chosen one, sometimes you do have to learn, depending on the environment, if it is a good idea to speak out at that moment. But if God, or if you want to say spirit or source, if you are prompted to speak, then speak. Don't let anyone out here um what I want to say, like, scare you or intimidate you, because the truth needs to be heard. God has placed you in certain people's lives. He has placed you in certain jobs. He has placed you with certain spouses. He has allowed you to be a mother or father to certain children, simply because he has trusted you with the gift of speaking, of teaching. Your voice, your words bring healing. They bring comfort. You can talk a person literally off a ledge. If somebody said, you know what, at this point, I feel like this is the last day I want to be here. I want to unalive myself. You have the voice of as a chosen one to literally speak life back into that person, to let them know, like, that regardless of your circumstances, you still have a whole life that you need to live. Even if you have to cry sometimes, even if you're angry sometimes, even if you feel like it's despair, with God, there's always hope. With God, all things are possible. That's why a lot of times when I come on here, I talk to you guys. I don't just talk about the lesson. I also give you all motivation. I want to speak life back into you. I want to speak strength over your life. I'm not just here to get paid. I'm not just here to build a following. That's why I say I don't even call you guys my followers. You guys are family. I want us to learn and grow together. And my intentions are always pure. I realized at such a young age that when it came to friends or family coming to me for advice, it was like a therapy session. It was like a healing session. They came to me one way and they left out a whole different person. And sometimes that's energy vampiring. Sometimes that's trauma dumping. Sometimes they're just dumping on you. And that's why it's chosen ones. You got to know how to go into isolation sometimes. Call your power back. Because some people, they don't mean to. I'm not saying every single person, I'm not saying every single person means to trauma dump on you or to bring in, to try to put their demons on you. But again, it can happen, especially because your voice, just like you, is in high frequency. That's why when you talk, people will listen. Even people that pretend to not like you, they're listening to you. Trust me. Whether they go up to the person you just was talking to after you leave, like, what she said? What was she saying? What was he saying? Or if you're online, they're watching you through, again, like I said, fake pages. If it's somebody you go to school with, they'll be in the class saying something, but they're still looking at you. They still want to see what you have to say, because they know that you are wise. To whom much is giving, much is required. Okay. When you found your voice, baby, understand that everything changed, because it's no more of you just trying to convince people or becoming extremely frustrated Once you actually know who you are and the power that you hold as a chosen one, you don't got to sit around and beg. You don't got to sit around and try to convince. You are now walking fully in your power of, I said what I said, and what I say I mean, and after that I'm out. I'm not here to do the back and forth. I'm not here for your approval. I have a message. God has allowed me to get these downloads. God has allowed me to gain this wisdom. And I am here to speak this to you. And I don't care who's offended. I don't care who's mad. I don't care who doesn't want to be around, who thinks that I'm crazy. Oh, every time she come around, she always got something to say. She always going to say something great. He going to say this. Okay. And what are you going to do about it? Cry? Because that's what it sounds like. Somebody's going to keep complaining and talking about somebody, but then you still want to be around that person, or you still want to listen out to see what they got to say just to debate with them. It's like, it's not that you hate me. You actually can't get enough of me. You actually adore me. You're actually a fan. You're mad because when you talk, nobody wants to sit around and listen. When you talk, there is no wisdom. The people that have something to say about you, walking in your power and your truth, most of the time when they talk, nobody wants to hear them. They're yawning. They're ready to go to sleep. They're like, next subject. But see, that's why I said they gotta talk about you or complain about you to get some sort of hype going, because they have no wisdom. And if it is, like I said, it's mainly just the earthly stuff. It's nothing that's going to truly help you in the spiritual. And chosen one, that's what we're here for. We are here to help people in their spirituality, but only if they want it. When you put that word down, that's why God says, don't cast your pearls to swine. You have pearls of wisdom. Your voice is a gift to all, to anyone that will listen. And that's why I've told you guys in previous videos that you will constantly have random people coming up to you telling you their problems, or coming to you saying thank you. Thank you for always being happy. Thank you for always smiling. Thank you for always having a positive and bright attitude. There's people that pay attention to you even when you don't think they are. This is definitely true online, and it's also true in your real life. When you're walking around here, when you're at work and stuff, that people pay attention, especially if you're dealing with customers. Especially if you're dealing with people in customer service, people will pay attention to your mannerisms. They will pay attention to how you are and how you act. And where I am, guys, people always say, like, people just love coming up to you. They love to talk with you. Like, you know how to hold amazing and great conversation. And again, it has nothing to do with me. Because me personally, I'd rather just get what I need to get and go home, do my job, go home, whatever. But we are on missions every single day. And you don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who God is sending along your path to help. But that's why he's allowing you to run into these tests, because God wants you to stand your ground. We are supposed to sound crazy to most people. We are supposed to be very misunderstood. Understand that you are something that the world has never seen or heard before. Most people are focusing on the 3D. What's going on with the president? What's going on with this, with the red side, with the blue side, with this rapper, with this singer, with the housing things, with this and that. And these things are still important, but they're also distractions. When you talk, you're not a distraction. You're actually going to the problem with real solutions. And God is the one that's going to give you the solution to give to other people. The wisdom that you're getting is literally from God. It is not something to brag about on our own, or like, yeah, look at me, I'm so smart because of myself. God allowed us to learn through all of the hurt and the pain that we've encountered over the years. Every tear that you drop is another lesson learned in your bucket. You just got to remember not to keep repeating it, or you'll feel like your life is being set up or tortured by the universe, when in actuality, the universe is like, baby, you got to pay attention. Don't keep doing the same old thing expecting a different result. So trust that inner voice, speak it, pray. Whenever you're about to talk, anytime I'm about to come over here and talk with you all, I pray. I talk with God. I communicate with God every single moment in my life. I ask God things like, God, should I do this? Should I go here? God is literally like my best friend. And I mean that. And I know for each chosen one, you feel the same way. Trust your voice. Trust the gift that God has given you. And if it offends, it will offend. If people don't like you for it, then let them not like you for it. If people want to misunderstand you and judge you, they're going to do it anyway. Do what God has called you to do and watch the harvest that you're going to reap. Everything that you're sowing now, you're going to reap it. And that's why, I'm sowing seeds of good things. I'm trusting God. I'm trusting God in his wisdom and in his glory. That's why I don't care what people say about me or what they think. This is God, baby. Whether you like it or not, I'm approved by God, and that's all that matters. And that's how you got to walk in your authority, chosen one. Walk in your God given authority because you have it. You're a divine sovereign being, and you are made in God's image, and the kingdom of God is inside of you. When people say who you think you are, I'm chosen, and that's who I know I am. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, beautiful souls. I hope you all are going off to a nice start. Tomorrow marks a new month. So I hope you guys are prepared to walk into July with fully in your power and your beauty and your wisdom. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your love and your support. Remember who you are and don't let anybody out here try to convince you differently. Stand in your power, baby. Remember who loves you. I love you. But God loves your beautiful soul so much more. I'll see you tomorrow.